Hello, everybody. Wired Theo here. Very, very wired. Somewhat upset, angry. I may be very spirit influenced right now. I had a triggering day at work. I do not like many aspects of my job, and I'm having trouble feeling about it because I don't really believe that feeling things will change my law of attraction. So, yeah, I'm in a tricky little spot. I'm praying for more understanding, more faith, I guess, in how releasing my emotion would actually lead to things changing for the better in my life. And that's where I'm at right now. But I'm very wired, very upset, and this is going to be a bit of a rant. So, if you're here for that, welcome. If you're not, tune away. Feel free. Um, so I'm getting increasingly tired, angry, upset with people telling me that I'm a religious person, that I'm a zealot. Nobody tells me I'm a zealot because that's not a commonly used word. But I feel like when people call me religious, they might as well use that term. And I'm starting to suggest to people that they look up the term religious. And if you look up the term religious, you'll find two definitions of the term. The first definition is someone who has a belief in a higher power. Now, of course, higher power has many definitions, but a general belief in a higher power. And the second definition is someone who has a set of beliefs. Really, religion could be said to be a set of beliefs. So you follow a certain religion, you ascribe to a certain set of beliefs. I personally like the divine truth teachings, and I say that I subscribe to those sets of beliefs. But whether I subscribe or prescribe or ascribe, there's definitely subscription. There's scription. There is I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. There is ascription. Anyway, and I don't fully subscribe. I only partially subscribe. So perhaps I have to amend my subscription status. Yeah. Perhaps I should inform those who would know, who would like to know of my status, and I should change my subscription, because I originally thought I subscribed, but I subscribed not knowing the length to which I was prepared to subscribe, and I now know that I never subscribed as much as I thought I subscribed, and it's better to be aware. Anyway, some people got lost with all that. Let me get back on track here and say, if you take the second definition of someone who's religious, and you look at the root word religion, then you can say that a religious person is someone who has a set of beliefs. But the interesting thing about that is that everybody has a set of beliefs. Everyone, you could say, taking that second definition, is religious. And that goes for those that choose not to believe anything, who are cleverly absent of any choice. You know, those who choose to evade the choice of subscribing to anything. Even they themselves, those agnostics, those people, even they have beliefs. They believe it's better to not make a choice. And in so doing, they are making a choice. They are not free from choice. and they themselves are not free from believing something. So where am I going with this? And I would further say that even atheists choose to believe that there is no God. They do not have solid proof. They have proof that they're comfortable with, and they're not comfortable with the opposite proposals, that there is a God for such and such a reason. They don't like those proofs, and those evidences are not good for them. But let me just put this in context for you. Someone says something to me, and I say, well, I don't really believe that. Here's what I believe. And a lot of times, my my expression of often an opposite belief, to them, oftentimes a ridiculous belief, a nonsensical belief, the very expression of that causes someone to be triggered. They're triggered by what I have to say, by what I believe. And it almost makes me feel like I should exit the conversation, because I don't really enjoy talking to people who profess their own beliefs and are uncomfortable with me professing mine. And I think the whole expression, the whole idea that I am a religious person, is a way to dismiss my own choice of belief. That's basically my concern. That's basically my problem here. And I would like to put forth some of the inane beliefs that I hear on a day-to-day basis blasted at me. One such belief is, it is what it is. People have slogans. That's just the way it is. I think it is what it is has replaced the oft mentioned previous generation of that's just the way it is. That's what people used to say, and now people say it is what it is. Well, what if it's not what it is? What if the thing that you say is what it is not that way? So you have a certain you have a certain feeling about some goings on, something that happens, and you take for granted that that's just the way it has happened, does happen, and will always happen. I don't agree with that. Not necessarily. I feel like that is really silly. Absolutely not. No way. And this goes for anything. And I love talking about war, and I think war is inane. I think war is silly. I think war is stupid. I think war is idiotic. I think war makes no sense. Let me give you another example. Drastic times call for drastic measures. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you absolutely certain that drastic times always call for drastic measures? What drastic measures exactly would you propose to respond with, in light of the drastic times that you claim these times to be? Often when someone says something like that, they're making a they're making a case for extreme violence, which is horrible to contemplate. If you really sit down and take your time to contemplate the amount of destruction that could occur if you took drastic measures in response to so-called drastic times, what you'll find often is that someone is making a case to propose extreme horrors, extreme horrible things. Someone is making the case to perpetuate terrible things upon other people, upon whole classes, races, ethnicities of people. groups of people of any kind. You know, there are those people. Those people deserve to be uh, deserve violence upon them when someone says something like that, and we take it for granted. You know, we actually love violence. Watch a movie. You know, I often talk about the trope in the movie. You know, it's the whole Air Force One Harrison Ford thing. You know, I didn't want to kill these bad guys, but they're so bad, and if I didn't kill them, all these people would have died. And actually, I was trying to the very last. I was trying to save them, but it just so happened that I couldn't. I couldn't fully save them. They ended up getting caught in the engine, the engine of the plane, and died horribly. And there was nothing I could have done. I actually, you know, my noble uh, sentiment, my staunch ethics required that I do whatever I could to save them. But it just so happened that circumstances were such that they had to die a horrible, tragic death. And there was nothing I could have done. Violence had to be inflicted. In fact, I had to instill great amounts of pain in order to stop violence that I perceived would occur. And now a lot of people are listening to me talk right now and saying, Theo, you're insane. Of course, violence makes sense, you know, in Air Force One situations. You know, of course, violence makes sense. It's just I'm so fucking tired of all these stupid movies that I don't even get anymore. Where violence is the final, you know, we had to do it. That's basically what you're saying. Like, I'm bored. I'm so bored by it. You have no idea. I'm so tired of it. It's so pathetic to me. You know, and I know I'm being judgmental, and I know I'm angry. I know I'm casting, you know. But like it's absolutely boring. That's what it is. The superhero movies, they're not much different. Often the villain dies in a very horrible, and to the very end, my ethics told me, try to save him. And I tried, but I couldn't. And he had to die in a horrible, tragic way. I feel like I feel so freaking alone in the world, you know, the way it is. You know, with the stories that come out in the movies. I have to watch another Martin Scorsese movie. Oh, Killers of the Flower Moon wasn't as violent, someone told me. I kind of doubt that. You know, I don't know how violent it was. If you watch Martin Scorsese movies as an auteur, like, he loves violence, okay? Quentin Tarantino loves violence. Martin Scorsese loves violence. Steven Spielberg, not so much. I like him a little more, okay? But these so-called auteurs that are just, to me at this point, they are just, you know, like, they're sadistic almost. They're bloodthirsty. And I don't blame them. It's what people are asking for. You know, it's not them so much as everybody that wants to have a justification for their own violence played out on the movie screen. And I'm saddened, and I don't know how to meet those people where they're at, and I'm tired of it. And I'm sure I need to get more into my anger, because that would probably reveal what's going on with me for that, you know. But it's so I don't want to watch any more of these movies. So what if Martin Scorsese is an auteur? So what if Tarantino is an auteur? I'm sick of the disgusting violence. You know, a friend of mine told me about this great show, The Boys, where these superheroes are doing all these violent things. And spoiler alert: in a recent episode, a whale was speared by the front of a boat and killed in a horrible bloodthirsty, violent manner. And to me, it's just like, hey, we haven't, killed someone in this way. We haven't, you know, maimed and then mercilessly destroyed this person's life in so vile a manner. Why don't we try this? It's like, where does it end with the bloodthirstiness? To me, I don't know. I have a visceral feeling of pain every time I see violence conducted on somebody, and I should go into that too. But it's like, when does it end? When does it end? And why this creativity with it? Oh my God! Like, there's so many ways we can be creative, and why are we so creative in our violence? Equalizer 1, Equalizer 2, Equalizer 3. Is there going to be an Equalizer 4? Is there going to be a Halloween 17? Is there going to be a Freddy, Krueger 7 or whatever? You know, we're so addicted. We want to watch it. We want to see the slasher films. We want to see people. So anyway, getting back to the point, um, like, people say things that they just assume everybody believes, and it's okay, and it's not okay to me. You know, well, they if they hurt my child, then I'm gonna fucking gut them. I'm gonna horribly torture them and then leave them for dead, or just end it. You know, I heard this one guy who thought he was loving, and he said he would, if he knew a pedophile, he would he would invite the dude over to his place and not tell him what he knew, and he'd invite him to a fire, and he'd have a fire, with him, and enjoy a time with him, you know, and like pretend that he didn't know that the dude was a pedophile. And then he would calmly take his gun, and then he would shoot the dude in the back of his head. And he thought he was gentle in his way of thinking about it. He thought he was a sweet, caring, kind, thoughtful person. And then he would quietly bury the guy or woman on his property somewhere. Maybe he would he would probably prepare the burial site in advance, for his premeditated murder. And he thought he was gentle. I thought that was disgusting, sick, and insane. And I think people are crazy. I know I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. There's things that I do that are crazy all the time. And I have my own justifications for my craziness, but I see other people in their craziness, and I can't stand it. And I'm at my wit's end with people telling me that I'm religious, and that as a way of dismissing my thoughts, my beliefs, my arguments. And I'm thinking to myself, do I not talk? Do I just, a lot of times I'll just say, people will say a whole spiel, and then I'll say, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. And I won't tell them why, because a lot of times I don't feel like they care, and that's fine. That's their free will. I don't want to, I'm less and less interested in spending my time trying to form an argument, to try to convince someone that has no interest in being convinced, that has no openness, or to another way of thinking. Why would I do that? And by the way, why am I spending their time with them if they are so closed? And I get more and more why AJ doesn't really want to talk to people who aren't open. And I get why he hasn't been posting videos. A part of me doesn't believe any of this is real, and He's never going to be at one with God, and that means it's all wrong, and it means he's a cult leader. But I can't stop watching. I can't stop watching this stuff. It's been almost 9 years, and I just can't stop. And I'm probably addicted, you know. But at the end of the day, I don't. Every time I watch other stuff, it's like it just seems so low. It just doesn't. Nothing holds a flame to it. Anyway, I'm going on another tangent with all this, but um, these are all my thoughts to do with people calling me religious, as if people don't moment to moment express. You know, it's like even your tone can tell me what you think about something. Even your pauses, even your I swear I'm a master at knowing when someone is not done talking. I just know it. It's a new thing. I've talked about it before, but for the last 2 3 years, like I know if someone is talking and then they stop talking for a bit. I know if they're done or not. I always know. Maybe not always, but 90% plus of the time I know. And it's kind of weird. It's like I haven't known that before. I don't remember knowing that before, but now I do know. And it's pretty cool. And it's this little thing that I think is very fascinating that speaks to something. I don't know what it means necessarily, but it just means like I can kind of feel where they're at. I can look in their eyes. Sometimes I don't even have to look in their eyes. A lot of times I'll look at their face, or I'll look somewhere else, and I know they want to say more. And if people want to just, I'm less and less interested in ramming things down, other people's throats, ramming, ramming my own ideas down other people's throats. I don't know that I've ever been really interested. I've always been kind of like careful, but I know that I've always felt really bad if people don't listen to what I have to say. But now I get it. I get why it's just so futile to not talk to people who don't want to hear what you have to say. Why would you do that? And if you don't understand what I'm saying right now, if you don't see the futility of it, keep doing what you're doing. Keep, keep saying, hey, I know such great stuff. I know so many great things, and you really ought to hear what I have to say. And keep getting the reactions and the responses that you're getting, and see what happens. I did a Divine Truth event here in Taos, New Mexico, and I wanted to do it as an experiment. And I now see why AJ kind of, his own ministry, or whatever you want to call it, his own seminar making or doing, for him, it all started with people asking him questions. And he's often said, like, once you start to change, people are going to sense it. They're not going to really know what they sense, and they're going to just want to ask you questions, and they're going to want to know, why are you happy, and that's been very elusive to me. Although I will say I've gotten that a little bit more lately, just a little bit more. Whereas it was like a desert wasteland before, where no one cared what I thought. Nobody cared. And now, every now and again, I'll get people out of the blue saying, hey, Theo, what do you think about that? And I'm like, whoa, that doesn't happen to me. No one asks me. No one cares. But anyway, I did this seminar and 2 people came, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to do anything like that again soon, because I don't want to put in all the work to make a seminar. I mean, I love talking about the Divine Truth, but I know that I'm not fully formed in it. I don't fully understand it. I don't fully believe it. I don't fully know it. And so it's kind of pointless, I'm better off just quietly in my own spare time, and I need to always make more time for it. I know, I love my addictions. I love avoiding fear. And and I don't want to make time to feel my emotions, to see if there's any truth, to ask God for help. You know, sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't, and I just have to be totally honest with that to God, and hopefully something's going to happen. I mean, I know there's a commensurate thing where you put in a certain amount and you get a certain amount, and I don't want to put in as much as I don't believe it that much. I don't know what, anyway. Now I'm rambling. Started as a rant, and it turned into a ramble. So I don't want to continue on. I think everyone gets the point that I'm making. This has been outraged Theo, signing out, tuning out, and I hope it meant something for you somehow.